stay until we soothe our soul. If it takes all night long.
There, now it goes. Now you can start.
Woo, woo, woo! Put on the brakes. Welcome, welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom, hoofties, pufties, bung-eyed heifers, canines, lupines, K10s. Thank you, Mac.
Mac and cheese.
Yeah, dogs of all sorts, four-legged friends. Welcome you to another version of It's NewsTo, where Newport's oldest TV news watches new. In another couple months, we got adult themes, adult language, you're advised. We're rated SC for some cussing. None of the heavy stuff, just a couple mild ones, but I was thinking about this on the way in, Terry. Geez, since this September, it's going to be 5 years.
Yeah, right. I know. You started 2009, didn't you?
Yeah, 5 years, 5 long years. And my first co-host was murdered by his wife. So murder is kind of like it's just a thing up here. It happens. And speaking of which, looks like we had a little murder over in Newport the other day too.
Oh no, that was self-defense.
Well, here's the thing, boys and girls. When somebody is bent on doing you harm, and you can't get away. I don't know. Forgive me, but how two people could not restrain one other one until the police arrived is beyond me. But that's for better minds than me to assess.
Your dog's making me laugh.
Oh, I thought you said he's mating. I'm there. Oh no. Hi.
Here's Adolf. Uncle Adolf.
It's a Führer, mein Führer. And
Bigger crowd than a good baseball game.
yeah, speaking of which, that's Nuremberg. I'll bring in the box I got from Nuremberg last when my dad picked it up over there. Hey, for years and years, Philo, remember we've been told we had to vote for batshit because, he's got seniority and he gets things done and, all this other stuff, right? Right?
I guess so.
Oh, yeah, he's got, we don't want to send some novice down there to the Senate, Well, baloney. Here we go, right here. The guy backs down like a fart in the wind. After 2 years of effort, the crusade to fight back against patent trolls has come to nothing. And they mentioned this guy, Jerry Tarrant from My Web Grocer. He was stunned and bitterly disappointed when, in May, when Senator Patrick Batshit Leahy abruptly dropped a bill addressing the practice of patent trolls. Companies, usually shell companies, that threaten to sue businesses with frivolous and ridiculous patent infringement claims. Leahy took the bill off the agenda of the Senate Committee he chairs just as the measure was nearing a vote. Tarrant found Leahy's actions particularly hard to swallow, given that a patent troll bill had passed in December in the House 325 to 91, Philo. So you can't get anything through the House these days because of these obstructionists and Tea Party types and, we got to pay to fund them and we're broke, those people, even though we print our own money out of scratch.
You mean the P-tardy.
Yeah, the P-retarded. And so it went through the House and the president said he would sign it. Pee Wee Welch called the vote in the House a miracle of miracles and said we had a bipartisan bill on protecting our small businesses, nonprofits, and entrepreneurs from stick-up artists that are lower than low patent trolls, Welch said. So what happened? Well, Leahy said he was forced to drop the bill by Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid. You know Harry Reid, the guy with the sacred shorts, that Mormon guy from...
I don't think he's a Mormon, is he?
Yes, he is.
Well, I don't care. I like him better than his counterpart, Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, Mitch McTurtle. But, see, I got these sacred shorts on, Senator Leahy, and you might want to, drop that bill, otherwise known as magic underwear. That's right, because I'm a moron. I believe in Joe Smith, the guy from Vermont who went to New York State and found the golden, the golden fleece. Yeah, the 501c3 is a nonprofit. The churches, you pay no taxes. What a racket, Bucky. And so anyways,
I find this funny, but when the Goldman Financial Group bought Fellows Gear Shaper, where I used to work,
Hoy!
the president that they put in charge, who did a great job. His name was Joe Smith.
Oh, of course. Of course. Little Joe Smith.
He's dead now.
Yeah.
He got brain cancer.
Damn. Asked about Reed's opposition, Leahy said only that Reed knew there was enough forces lined against the Troll bill to be filibustered by the Republicans and by Democrats.
Whack, whack.
Therefore, why bring it up? Now, wait a minute. You know, there's something missing here, boys and girls. There's something big missing here. And I'll go to the last paragraph or something. It's just mind-boggling.
They filibuster everything.
Yeah, but geez, Terry, if it got its way through the House, you know, if it made its...
Even then, Steve, it doesn't matter because Mitch McConnell will filibuster anything, or John McCain will, or one of those guys will.
Oh, but according to this, there was no downside to this. I mean, everybody was for it.
I'm going to go down and ask Bunny.
Yeah, let's ask...
That's the only one I listen to.
Call Phil. Let's see. Here's they quote a friggin' lobbying firm. Roy Aretano, Director of Federal Affairs for the Normandy Group, a Washington lobby whore firm, has been working with a variety of clients for the passage of the bill. He said the most outspoken opponents of the bill have been the bio and pharma companies. You know, the same people that want to keep weed illegal because they can't make any money off it, and they'd rather sell you Prozac and booze. Those people. Let's see, which hold large patent portfolios like the laws governing patents the way they are. They've utilized the system for a long time, and it's worked very well for them. Particularly, it relates to interactions with generic drug makers. Other industries and companies with large portfolios have lined up against the bill too. Johnson & Johnson, 3M, universities were bitching. Anytime you tinker with a way to litigate patents, the people are concerned, you know, and they're easier to collect legal fees, patent infringement. Oh, geez. So why do we vote for this bullet head to get in there year after every 4 years?
Because the idiots that run against him are even worse.
Well.
You should have seen the last guy that ran against him.
Oh,
He
man.
came in here with a big promo, and his claim to fame was he graduated from North Country High School. He came right in here, Steve.
Oh, well, I remember I interviewed that guy last time. What the heck was his name? Not Feliciano.
No.
Crying out loud. Anyways, he did.
He was like, yeah, I'm really impressed with this guy.
Dan something.
Yeah. Yeah, he was so famous, I can't even remember who he was.
Well,
Yeah, I'm going to vote for you over Leahy. No thanks. No.
yeah, well, you'd have to murder somebody to get name recognition in this state, and even then. And here we are. Speaking of which, the guy who's never run for office, never done anything, old Bunny Screw himself, reveals DUIs, drug arrests, strokes, and bunny screws too. Because you know, I tell you that story about the bunnies. It's just insane, man. Yeah. Well, this is the same guy. He got up in front of all the Republicans in the state, and it tells a story about how his aunts and relatives and how they used to come up when he raised rabbits, and they'd set up lawn chairs in front of the cages and watch the rabbits screw. Ho, 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 ho! I used to love them rabbits screwing. Ho, 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 ho! And yeah. And then Philo, if that wasn't bad enough, he goes out to the parking lot and he asks the reporters, he says, how do you think that rabbit story went over? And they're all like, oh, geez, you know, and like, you know, like a fart in the first pew. And then he starts to tell it to them again. Yeah, they used to love to watch them rabbits screw. Ho, ho, ho. Now, mind you, too, he said he had a drunk driving, a couple of DUIs 35 years ago in college. Do you know how screwed up you had to be to get a DUI 35 years ago, Philo?
Well, that would be, what, 1979?
Yeah.
And the crash program started about 1976.
Yeah.
So,
well,
yeah,
but,
it was a lot more difficult back then.
But most cops, I mean, unless you fell out of the car, stumbling drunk, if you could walk and talk, they would let you drive, okay? They didn't, you know, the breathalyzers were held for, they used it for their enemies, people they didn't like, you know, loudmouths, people who criticized the pigs, stuff like that. And drug arrests. What kind of drugs are we talking about here? Drunk driving. Oh, possession of weed and cocaine. Okay.
cocaine?
Yeah.
You get hairy nostrils.
Yeah, man, oh man. Yeah, they're gonna make rope out of Palmer Leahy's nose hairs. And here he is right here. He's in today's Milne adopts the theme of campaign moderation. Yep, there he is. And look at him. He's showing how big. You see his hands there? That's how big that bunny dick was. That bunny dick was this long. I'm telling you, man, they used to love to watch it. Ho, ho, ho. Get this. You want to hear this guy's plan, Philo? You're going to love this. He said he's running for governor in hopes of returning Vermont to a more moderate approach without specifying anything. Of course, God knows you get specific about anything. You know, actually have a policy paper or something in writing, something we could go to and say, oh yeah, I agree with that, or I don't agree with that, or that's a stupid idea, or that's a great idea. You have no ideas. You just come up with vague generalities and hope that the public's still sleeping. Let's see, without specifying, you take issue with the GMO law. Maybe it's not a good idea to have the legislation executive branches owned by the same party. He said there's no filter, no cooling period between a promise and a law, and we are way out ahead of ourselves. What? Hey, you idiot. Most people know that this stuff hasn't been tested. It's never, you know, you shouldn't take fish genes and put them in tomatoes. I mean, stuff like that is for, like, God Almighty if you're a religious person, and not for people. And if you really are scientifically progressive, then you should adopt a precautionary principle and say, yes, we'll let you do this, but before you let it out loose on the public, you're going to test it on mice and rats and dogs and God knows what, you know, in studies before you let it loose.
Warthogs.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why this stuff is banned in Europe, you know? And Europe, Japan, China, Africa wouldn't even take our corn because of the damn stuff was genetically modified. He says, I don't have a good sense of comfort or faith that this administration knows what it's doing or even knows when to stop. I really miss that steady hand of Governor Davis, Snelling, Dean, and Douglas. Oh, yeah, that steady hand. Well, stick out your hands, Mr. Rabbit Screw. Let's see if they're shaking or not. It's insane. Then he goes on about health care. We could have improved the system we had in place. We didn't need to experiment with replacing it with something untried and beyond our reach. Oh, you mean single payer like the veterans use? Single payer like they have in Canada? Single payer like, you know, 6 miles across the border? That system don't work for them? Oh, yeah, that's right. They're thronging our emergency rooms and our doctor's office. Every time I go to the hospital, all I see is Quebexican plates. Oh, yeah, they hate their health care.
And you know something, Steve? The only Canadians I ever hear complain about their health care are the francophones. I've never heard an Anglophone complain.
You know,
Never heard an Anglophone complain about their health care.
Funny how that works, huh, Philo?
And my old doctor from Springfield, Vermont, moved to Winnipeg just to get on that system because he was tired of fighting with insurance companies.
Oh, man.
If any of you want to know what his name is, you just call down here and I'll tell you. I'll even tell you where he lives.
Yeah, and he'll probably even pick up the phone when you call him. Not like this guy.
I saw his wife about 6 years after they moved, and she said he was doing great.
Yeah. We could have improved the system we had. Yeah, untried and beyond our reach. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? If you can't dream anything, then you can't make anything, okay? It's that simple, Mr. Bunny Screw. And, oh man, here's the list of his stuff. Let's see. 35 years ago, during an irresponsible 18-month period when I was in college, I was arrested 3 times, twice for driving under the influence, once for possession of weed, and a small amount of weed and cocaine. Shortly after these incidents, I stopped using drugs and committed to only consume alcohol in moderation. That's when I became a Republican. Once I got drunk, and realized that, you know, I can get drunk like this every night and it's perfectly legal, then I became a Republican. Yeah! Oh, man. Oh, good grief, man. And what's one, and speaking of booze, Philo, here it is, drink smart, that's right. Line up, get your glue now, we push it in the paper. Yep, super shavings, yeah, come on down and get your cancer haul.
Yes, come in and get impaired and then make a good decision.
Yeah.
You idiot.
Drink smart. Yeah.
It's like saying, you know, have sex for virginity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Real smart.
Hookers for virginity. Yeah.
You know. Remember the old one back in the Vietnam War was kill for peace?
That's it. We had to burn their village to save it. Yeah, and that was a booze one, the booze war too. Here we are, man sentenced for furnishing alcohol. Now, mind you, this Poon guy sold the booze that killed a guy, and let's see, what do you think he got, Philo?
Probably 30 days.
Yep, 30 days on a work crew, 100 hours of community service, and enrolled in crash. And he'd be on probation for 2 whole years. Whoa! Whoa! And there's the mad, there's, yeah, Uncle Joe. That's the guy the Koch brothers' father worked for.
Exactly.
Yeah, Mr. John Birch Society, anti-communist mofo. He went to help Joe build his refineries over there, and lo and behold, that's it. On his picture of the Supreme Court, it shows a bunch of Monopoly men with a money bag in one hand, and you can't see it, damn it, with a money bag in one hand and a cross in the other. That's a good one.
Did you see Rachel Maddow the other night?
No, I haven't seen her in a while,
They
Philo.
had the leader of the Russian Orthodox Church.
Oh,
and
great.
the new leader of ISIS.
Did he have a beard?
Yeah, well, they both did. But the funny part was, they're both talking about being the leaders of their religions, and you know, a vow of poverty and austerity and this and this and this, and they both had Rolex watches on.
What, was that confirmed that that guy had a Rolex?
One was a Rolex and one was a James Bond watch, which was $6,000.
Yeah, because, I mean, I got an old Seiko self-winder here, and it does kind of look like a Rolex, but, you know.
And they even tried to doctor one of them. The
Doctor
guy
the
from ISIS by having his cuff roll down over the watch.
Oh, did they?
However, the reflection was still on the table, and that showed up, and Rachel caught it.
Yeah, vow of poverty.
I like her.
Yeah, I want you to give up all your worldly possessions and put them in the trunk of my Mercedes-Benz.
If you know, I don't like weed. There's too many in my garden.
Yeah.
They're choking off my flowers.
It's nuts. Brewer finds inspiration in state park water. Get this, Philo. These guys hiked into a state park to get the water to make beer with.
Okay.
Yeah, at Molly Stack Park in Wilmington, a new crew of waterloggers carried out another 100 gallons of Vermont water. The resulting beer, Molly Stack Dark, will be released on August 13th. Get it? Molly Stack Dark. Ha ha ha! Get drunk! Yay! And it, yeah, it makes your horns grow, and then you can scrape them with others.
I think we had somebody here with that name.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like hunting deer. You get horn scrapes and track soup, man. And here we are right here. Look at that. Isn't that good, boys and girls? Looks like puke in a glass. It is. It's puke in a glass. What the hell?
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
The kitchen tables take on the Negroni. Equal parts of Bar Hill Jill gin. Oh, that's made right here in Caledonia County. We're making gin over there. Yay! That's going to put everybody back to work. An elderberry cordial instead of sweet vermouth and Campari. It's shaken. Oh, yeah, you don't want to bruise booze. And remember, I was telling you about that big bus last week, and they had to, coming on at 6 o'clock, you know, big drug arrest, goes all the way from the border down to Manchester, New Hampshire. And we never said, and I'm thinking, wow, maybe they got some heroin, right? Finally, we got a heroin kingpin, right? Wrong. Concord, New Hampshire. Federal authorities say a 34-year-old Cal man and spent more than 10 years in prison for his role in a California drug ring that helped ship cocaine and marijuana through New England.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's it. It was a ring that operated from 07 to 09. And the weed would come from Canada and be distributed from dealers and elsewhere. And proceeds from the pot sales would be used to buy Joe cane from California that would be shipped to Canada. So you got the Canucks up there sniffing coke, growing weed to send down to New England to sell to the stoners to buy some more money, to buy some more coke, to grow some more weed. Yay!
How do they grow weed up there? It's too damn cold.
Weird. I think they got this thing called hydro, Philo.
Oh, okay. All right. Probably growing on those hockey sticks.
Yeah, they grow it in hockey bags. You heard of grow bags? They got hockey bags. Oh, and here's the booze killing. That's right. You know, if this had been a weed killing, they would say weed killing. If it was a heroin killing, they would say it was a junkie killing. Well, let's call it what it is. It's a booze killing. You know, this guy, he had the temerity. He made me drive my bicycle down to the Packy to get some more beer, you know, when? And I didn't like it. He could have driven me there, and then he made fun of me, and he tapped me on the head with a hammer, so I shot him. It's insane. The attorney for a 49-year-old Vermont man charged with killing a friend said his client is ready to accept responsibility. The attorney for Peter Lavaletti made the comments Tuesday during a hearing in Vermont Superior Court in Newport. He's charged with first-degree murder in last year's June shooting of 61-year-old George Gesundheit. Lavaletti was arrested after a traffic stop in Indiana where he told police he had killed a man in Vermont. He said he shot him because he had been browbeaten and tapped him on the head with a hammer. Unbelievable. The Caledonian reports that Orleans County Attorney Alan Franklin needs more time to firm up the details in a plea deal. Yeah, well, I think they need a real state's attorney up here or something. I don't know what the hell's going on with this guy. Holy moly. How'd that happen? He's wiping me out, man. Hey, yeah, get this. You know how they're saying, oh, New York's so business friendly and we're giving millions of dollars and New York's open for business, right? Well, turns out, Philo, with all the billions they're giving in tax breaks to New York, right? So which some critics in Vermont say does a better job of offering incentives, New York got a D+, as did Massachusetts. New Hampshire was the only state in the Northeast that got a passing grade with a B-. And Vermont got a D for its tax code and a D for regulations. Oh, yeah. And who did this thing? Oh, yeah. Let's see. John Lieber of Thumbtack. Thumbtack. What the hell is Thumbtack?
Is that the name of a town?
Well, it's a business ratings business, Philo. Oh, man.
I have to see who runs that place.
Oh, yeah, some zipperhead named John Lieber. Oh, of course. John Lieber from Thumbtack, don't you know? He's a good Amish man.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Criticizing the state. Let's see. Vermont has the second lowest. Let's see. The Democratic Party. Oh, man. Here's what the Republicans said. The Republicans said they're failing to help small businesses succeed in raising costs for them. The Democrats and the supermajority are ignoring the pleas of Vermonters and small businesses struggling under the burden of their tired and costly policies. He argued that if left unchecked, the Democrats will make the business climate more difficult. It's time for balance in Montpelier. So Shummy's Economic Development Commissioner said that on two-year information, she says, it relies on perceptions rather than data. She argued the state is doing many things to make it more user-friendly, working to the typical time to register a business from 10 days to 30 minutes. The Dem Party executive Julia Barnes defended the state's status. She says, Vermont has the second lowest unemployment rate in America. We lead the nation in per capita solar job creation. Burlington's one of the 10 promising tech hubs. It's not to mention the iconic Vermont companies that started as businesses are now thriving, including Burton Snowboards that are now made in China and Austria. Thanks, Jake. Burton, Ben & Jerry's Dealer.com. Yeah, you can get some good stuff from the dealer at Dealer.com. Otter Creek and many others. Yeah, a beer company. Great. Criticizing the states, he said, is all the Republicans have in their arsenal. Their success depends on Vermont and Vermonters doing worse, not better, she said. And that's what they're doing nationally, too. That's what they're doing in Washington. They're saying, look, you know, these people, we're going to make it, we're not going to do anything. We're going to sit on our hands for 2 years and for 2 terms and do absolutely nothing. And then when it's gone and nobody's employed anymore and the country's gone to snot, we're going to blame the black guy because he was black and he's a Democrat, even though the majority in the House is Republicans. Unbelievable.
Hey, I just see something here on the web news.
Yeah?
The number of pubs in Great Britain has dropped from 68,000 to 50,000 since 1982.
Yeah, you think they're drinking themselves to death, Philo.
That and the fact that real estate prices have gone sky high. Everybody's selling off their real estate.
Yeah, man. See that little pub over there? It'd make a nice little apartment now, wouldn't it?
I have no use for pubs. I haven't been to one in years.
Oh, man, I'm telling you. I got sent into one for that stupid penguin plunge. And, man, was that a problem. Yeah, that's right. Jail the Negroes. Yep, jail the Negroes. Gangs follow opiates to Vermont, so be afraid, be afraid. And yet, on the same side of that coin, if you're whitey, you get treatment, okay? But if you're black, oh, you jail the Negroes. Get this. This is the new reporting these days. Instead of sitting down and asking the police chief or somebody else, they send out emails with a questionnaire and then ask them to respond, right? And Michael Sherling in Burlington, the chief piggy in Burlington, said, we see intermittent activity not related to organized street gangs, but to individual members of organizations that are in Vermont from elsewhere for a criminal enterprise. That means black people, okay? That means they can stalk black people and bust black people, and black people will fill our jails. Let's see. Our diffuse drug market, particularly the arenas of heroin and crack, are sometimes exploited by members of organized crews affiliated with street gangs from urban areas. Yeah, that's the new ghetto speak, you know. When you're white and you want to disparage the black people, you just say, urban, you know, it's them urban people. Yeah. And let's see, the Bloods, Crips, Latin Kings, oh no. I believe, yeah, really. But I do believe we're experiencing the same inner city spillage that the rest of rural America is experiencing. Oh yeah. How hard is it to determine if someone's in a gang? Oh, it'd be in a community without being charged with a crime, arrested, or how's it ever happen? Oh, we gotta see it both ways. We have big city gangbangers, homegrown gangbangers, such as the Franklin County White Boys, the East Side Riders, and a few other names that come and go. We look for gang tattoos, street names, or monikers, associates, and self-reporting. Monikers? You're still looking for that blue dress?
Monikers?
Yeah. It's a honer. Yoggity. And it's insane. It can often be very difficult to determine if someone's a gang member. Gang members are frequently identified by intelligence, tattoos, clothing, or self-admission. Intelligence? Well, if they're that intelligent, we should send them to Harvard at $50 grand a year instead of prison. It's actually cheaper, I think. Oh, man. We'll let them screw bunnies and watch. Run for governor. And here we are. Guess who wouldn't support the soccer games, Terry, if they couldn't get to sell booze in Brazil?
Who's that?
Anheuser-Busch.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah.
I'm watching without you.
Well, they got their way. Get this. Alcohol is usually banned at soccer matches in the public interest of public.
Too many riots.
Yeah, in interest of public security and avoiding fights. But with Anheuser-Busch InBev as a tournament sponsor, FIFA announced that Brazilian authorities allow beer sales during the month-long event, leading to President Dilma Rousseff and 55-gallon drum-looking woman to sign legislation that allows alcoholic beverages inside the World Cup stadiums. Unbelievable. After the statements made from Valky, who said, I was surprised by the level of alcohol. A lot of people were drunk, which can raise the level of violence, he told Brazil Sport TV. After that statement, the state prosecutors in Rio threatened to open a civil lawsuit against FIFA if it didn't restrict alcohol sales in the stadiums for the rest of the tournament, which ends Sunday. FIFA said it didn't intend to review its policy. That's right, we're selling beer, we're making a fortune, and you guys can go suck eggs. And how many people do we kill a year by booze, Philo? 88,000 people a year. That's right, boys and girls. 88,000 a year. And New Mexico leads the nation in deaths related to executive alcohol use. Nationally, the study from the CDC found excessive drinking led to 88,000 deaths per year from 06 to 2010 and shortened the lives of those who died by 30 years. 30 years. Yeah, but that's okay. You know, it's legal. It's legal. Unbelievable. Oh, and you're going to love this. Hey, Terry, how many people does it take to drive a John Deere lawn tractor drunk?
Well, I remember a guy in St. Albans that tried to outrun the police one time.
Well, this guy was out lawn cruising at 1 a.m. and he smashed up his John Deere, and they think that alcohol might be a factor. Yeah. Cacciatore said information was whether alcohol or drugs were a factor were not available. It could very be possible that alcohol was a factor. Responders were unable to administer a breathalyzer due to the guy Lynn's injuries. George Lynn, 54, of Mount Holly, was driving his John Deere lawnmower when he drove off the unpaved roadway and crashed down a small embankment. So remember, next time you're mowing your lawn, make sure you wear a helmet. Nah, nah, nah. And here we are, too. A summer grilling primer. That's right. Here's a primer from Leviticus. That's right. Remember Leviticus? The old testicle?
Leviticus Maximus?
Yeah, that's it. Swine is unclean. You shall not eat it, said God. God himself. But hey, who we'd argue with God? Oh, that's right. Some guy named Peter or Paul or some joker shows up 2,000 years ago and says, now you can eat everything you want. Yeah, including pork. Unbelievable. Oh, here we are, shotgun assault in Brattleboro. No way. You think? This is from Friday, July 4th. Police said a 39-year-old Whitingham man fired a shotgun twice at another man, peppering the victim's arm and car with pellets. The Brattleboro Reformer reports Tyson Dix pled not guilty to charges including aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And he was released in order not to contact the 33-year-old Jonathan Corbisiero. Corbisiero said he went to Dix's home to talk about child care plans with a woman that he had a prior relationship with. That's called baby mama drama. Okay, you got a little baby, you got a baby mama, you got baby mama drama. And he said Dix got angry and fired twice, hitting his car and arm. But the woman told police that Corbisiero called Dick the derogatory name and was driving aggressively back and forth in front of the house and had threatened Dix. Dick said he fired the shot as a warning. Hey, Bucky, if you're firing a warning shot, it usually means you fire it into the air or into the ground where it won't hurt anybody. You don't fire a warning shot, a bird shot at somebody, unless you're Dick Cheney and they're an attorney. Unbelievable. Hey, we've got a new word, Philo. It just came out. That's right, in the Earth last week. It's called biofouling. That's right. And we've got hurricanes in July. Do you remember when hurricane season didn't start till September, Terry?
Yeah, or at least late August.
Yeah. What the hell? Oh, there's no global warming. It's a myth, don't you know?
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, Ebola outbreak in West Africa has been the most deadly since 1976. The WHO said 467 of the 759 people infected have died. Doctors Without Borders calls it out of control. Doesn't have the resources or growing number of infected people. Hey, we've got Ebola in Africa. We have a Jap nuke plant on slow meltdown, which the world is just ignoring. Nobody's testing the damn seafood. Nobody's testing anything. you know, except for radcast.org, and even they're not reporting anymore. I think they ran out of funding. And yet, you know, we ignore it, you know. The epidemic is in a second wave, said Bart Janssen from Médecins Sans Frontières. The hemorrhagic disease is spread across Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, home to the world's poorest nations and the richest dictators, too. Because if you get the money, you know, you got the money. Unbelievable. Extinction 2.0. Be the first time in history we have exterminated a native mammal twice, setting a historical precedent. Yeah, that's the British beavers. And here's Osama, down on the border. You remember Star Trek, Philo?
Oh yeah, I remember it. Watched it last night.
Yeah. You remember the Tribbles?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Tribbles were eating what was it, quadra tetracale or something? And the Tribbles were born pregnant. Well, what has this got to do with the Hondurans crossing our border by the thousands? Huh? I think they're born pregnant too. They just sneeze and out comes kids.
I'm gonna change the disc.
Yeah, thanks, Philo. The White House wants to increase assistance to El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras, where most of the children are coming from, to help them stop the rush of people leaving there and improve their ability to receive the influx of deported children. They want $5 million for ads in Central American nations, discouraging parents from sending kids north. Would those be TV ads or print ads? You know, what good is a bunch of billboards in El Salvador if these people can't read? You know, what the hell, man? $5 million for ads telling them not to come norte. $39 million for aerial surveillance, including drones. $45 million for judges and staff to speed deportation hearings. $880 million to deport adults caught traveling with kids. It's like, what the hell? You know? I think we've got, we've got 8 million landmines, Philo, that we're doing nothing with, and we won't sign the anti-landmine treaty. Well, here's a thought. Maybe we can put the landmines in from like, I don't know, start them in Texas, from Brownsville to San Diego, all along the Rio Grande. And then you could put up signs that say, peligro, minas. And here it is right here. Border states seeking action from the feds, speds. Yeah, here they are. It's now known as the Camino de la Ratons. That's right. They're all headed up here. Made a 16-day trek from Catacamas, Honduras, with their two daughters, 4 and 15. Now, wait a minute. This woman's 34 years old. She's got a 15-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old. What the hell, man? Gangs had taken over the girls' schools and students were being kidnapped. They had to leave. Oh, it's so bad. We're not going to take up a gun or ask the police to defend us or defend ourselves. Oh, we had to come norte to the great gringo land, don't you know? Unbelievable. And look at this. That's right. Supreme Court's got the Republicans have a war on women. The Supreme Court, now mind you, the Supreme Court has a 252-foot buffer zone outside the Supreme Court to take care of their lame white asses, okay? Yet if you want to go to an abortion, you got to run the gauntlet of a bunch of screaming harpies and praying, what the hell? Yeah, well, we want the kind of free speech zone that the Supreme Court has. Oh, don't go there. You got to stay 250 feet away. And here we are. New from the Vermont League of Cronies and Tyrants. They passed a new thing in the open meeting law, Philo, where it says that you have to have your minutes posted within 5 days or whatever if you have a town website. Yeah. So instead of just doing it, the Vermont League of Cronies and Tyrants, mind you, these are the people that we pay for insurance. The Vermont League of Cronies and Tyrants told all these towns to shut down their websites. Yep, just shut them down, shut them down. Unbelievable. Let's see. We're extremely concerned by this recommendation and have taken a strong stance against this, said the press people against the Vermont League of Cronies and Tyrants, suggesting that towns deactivate the websites. The digital posting requirement was the one silver lining in a bill that we otherwise had objection to. And they get a do-over too. Yeah, if you violate the open meeting law, you get a do-over. Camera 2, Philo, camera 2. And here we are. That's right. First week of July. First week of July. And what are we doing? We're shutting down beaches. Yeah. Got splooge? Oh, sure. Come and get your splooge right now. That's right. Get this, too. The state's Department of Health, now, mind this woman. They get these kids, okay? They kick out all the older reporters who are making a decent living. Why does that sound familiar, Philo?
Sounds like, what was that? I can't remember that store. Circuit City.
Yeah, everywhere. Sounds like everywhere. You get rid of the older employees like this grocery store up the street. You hire a bunch of kids right out of high school who won't give you any lip and, know their place and stuff. Well, anyways, that's what they did with this reporter, and they got this little girl here, and you know what she says? She says the state's Department of Health has set the bar for E. coli at 235 based on the EPA's recommendation. No, the EPA doesn't recommend that. The EPA sets that as an upper limit. It used to be 77 in this state, okay? But there is so much shit coming from so many farms that are exempt from the pollution laws and any requirements of clean water requirements that they changed it from 77 to 235. You idiot. Above 235, the water could present a health risk for swimmers. It could present a health risk at anything over 60. They used to shut down the river in Troy for swimming over 60. 60! Good going. Oh, yeah. We had a significant rain. We got runoff. What did they say a couple of years ago? Remember, Philo? It was birds, turds, bats, squirrels, Oh, yeah.
Aardvarks.
Aardvarks in the park. That's right. Yeah, and here's the PSB right here. They've got secret loans, $5 million missing. And see this woman right here? That is Pee Wee Welch's wife. She still calls herself Cheney, though. Oh, I'm Margaret Cheney. I'm not Welch. It's Cheney. Don't use my married name, damn it. Let's see.
Speaking of the World Cup, did you see the score of yesterday's game?
I heard the Germans kicked some ass.
7-1.
Unbelievable. In like 5 minutes or something, too, right?
They got 5 goals in 10 minutes.
That's incredible in a boring-ass game like soccer. Anyways, the strategy is contingent on the PSB deleting a provision in their Certificate of Public Good that says they must offer services to every resident and business. So you're paying for a city service, and now they're taking away the mandate that says they have to come and serve you. I mean, even Comcast doesn't do that. Comcast doesn't bill you for the people who aren't hooked up. What? It's mind-boggling. Oh, yeah, let's see. Williams, citing sources, let's see, the Burlington attorney, Norman Williams, he's trying to recover the $17 million from former CEO Jonathan Loophole, said, cited sources ranging from Loophole to Tim Nolte said $5 million of the taxpayers' money from Burlington Telecom may not have been spent on Burlington Telecom at all. Inconsistent accounting for hookups and equipment purchases triggered those concerns. Furthermore, allowing the utility to opt out of its expansion now is unfair. BT was started to give people an alternative to Comcast, but even Comcast, not even Comcast forces people to pay for something they can't get. And, less optimistic testimony was filed by Lauren Glenn Davician, who represents the public access media groups. So they've got 3 channels with 3 different, outfits running them.
What was her name again?
Laura Glenn Davician.
Oh, yeah, I met her.
Yeah.
I know her. Yeah, they have 4 AMOs in a very small radius over there.
Yeah, I've talked to them before. I've called them up about something years ago. Anyways, most famously, a provision that limits funding from the city violated in 08-09 by loophole. The secret loans amassed an outstanding debt of almost $17 million. Moody's cited both debts as a factor and downgraded the bond rating to junk bond status, a notch above investor or junk bond status. Citibank settled with Burlington earlier for $9 million, $6 million, which is supposed to come from the P-Corps deal, and the rest from sales of city property, insurance, and the escrow payments. And get this, the co-defendants in the lawsuit is the law firm of McNeil, McCuckoo, and Wingnut, otherwise known as McNeil, Leddy, Sheehan. And they owed $1.5 million. How come they haven't paid up yet? Where's their ching, huh? Huh?
No, you don't have to do that.
No, we're a law firm, and we told them, to violate that, to violate the PSB rules, and that was our advice. But you can't hold our feet to the fire because we're just attorneys, and it was only an opinion, and And here we are. What are they doing in all the other states along the highways, Philo? They're upgrading their rest facilities, right? What are we doing in Vermont?
Getting rid of them.
Yeah, whiz in the woods. Does a Vermont do whiz in the woods?
I think it's called marking the territory.
Yeah. Hey, smells like old Bill's been here. And get this. Canuck trucks ruin our roads. Canadian firm fined $15,000 for an overweight vehicle. And they tried to get around it, Philo. They tried to avoid an inspection to boot. Okay, so we're paying for our highways for these Canucks to come down and ruin them. That sounds like a plan, right? Yeah, they were waiting for the detail to close. They knew they were in violation of their weight permit. They were like 9 tons overweight. It's just insane. Superload would have required them to pay for an engineering study and a $35 permit. They wanted the shortest possible route. Unbelievable. And here we are. Hey, Doug Racine. Yeah, how's that work? You flipped us over. Doug Racine, Ted Beneke, same person. Partisans posture on inconsistencies in the new marketplace. Oh yeah, that's right. Hoofties for health care freedom. Well, I might as well call it hoofties for no health care. Because who's paying for these people, okay? Who pays for these people to go down and say, oh, we don't want any health care? Oh yeah, the Vermont Republican Party, let's see, wanted an audit. They have system glitches, failed to check applicants' eligibility, and could result in hefty tax penalties, and yada, yada, yada. Yesterday's turds is tomorrow's blossom. Look at the look on this face. You wonder why kids don't want to go to school, Philo? Look at this curriculum director. Does she look happy? Does she look happy to you?
Likely.
Yeah, I'm so happy. And I love kids. Oh, I just love those kids. Get out of here! I'll slap you down. Where's my Prozac? And here we are.
That'd be about the worst stuff to get hooked on.
Yeah, oh, geez, I'm telling you. Burlington City and schools released their diversity reports, Philo. Yay! And you know what they found? They found that if you got no money, that your kids are going to fail. Oh, really? You needed a report to figure that one out? Unbelievable. Among the findings, the dropout rate is higher for students for free lunch and reduced lunch, 18 compared to 2%, across all racial and ethnic groups. Likewise, dropout shows a gap based on ability. 26% for students with an IEP, that's an individualized education plan, that's the SPED program, compared with 9% without one. Race is not a huge predictor of dropping out, but money is. Oh, yeah, we got no money. Yeah, you got to work for minimum wage. Yeah, we don't want to give you any raises. And speaking of which, here we are. Speaking of diversity, we need more diversity. We need more women in beekeeper suits, don't we, Philo?
Something like that.
Yeah, because like the Prophet Muhammad said, blessed be the beekeepers, blessed be the honey, blessed be the bombs. It's insane. Peace be upon him, said the prophet. Yep, that's right. 10 become citizens at this historic homestead. And there's your typical anti-poverty fat old white woman holding their hands, sticking the rest of us with a bill. Oh, and what's one of my favorite topics? Oh, did you see 60 Minutes with the dinosaur news?
No, I'm interested in dinosaurs.
I'm gonna domini, all you kiddies drop of you pants. Pope begs victims for forgiveness. That's right.
Oh, I saw that. What does that have to do with dinosaurs?
Well, they're 60 Minutes. They're dinosaurs, ain't they?
I don't know.
They look reptilian to me.
I thought those things died out millions of years ago.
Oh, no, they're right on Sunday night, man. They're right on CBS every Sunday night. Jay Leno did this thing years ago. I would die to find it, where it says, it shows a Tyrannosaurus Rex saying, I'm Steve Croft. And then there's like another dinosaur saying, I'm Leslie Stahl, and I'm morally safer, and this is 60 Minutes. And it's like, with the stopwatch, it was hysterical.
Oh, we must not forget Harry Reasoner.
Oh, yeah. Geez, he's still alive?
Morally safer.
Of any of these guys still alive? I mean, God.
Dan Rather is.
Yeah, they were covering people in Vietnam when I was a kid. Yeah, the encounter with victims from Germany was low-key. They met with Popey Dopey Sunday night and joined him for a private mass in the ass on Monday morning, said the Reverend Federico Lombardi. After that, Francis met with each of them in the private apartment for about 30 minutes of informal discussion about their experiences. The Vatican did not release the names of the victims, but Francis expressed a sorrow for their sins and grave crimes, abuses against them. I beg for your forgiveness, too, for the sins of omission on the part of the church who did not respond adequately. How about some jail time, okay? How about some ching for the victims? How about, how about taking off the dress and letting some women in the church? Maybe this wouldn't have happened. Oh, man. Don't get me going on that popey-dopey stuff.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
All of your tresses come from men in dresses. Oh, and here we are. T.J. Donovan passes on a prostitution prosecution. You know where they're going instead, Philo?
Where's that?
To horse school.
Oh, okay.
Can you believe this? It's like, what gives with this guy, Donovan, man? Oh, yeah, he'll jail the Negroes with the heroin, but, not these guys. 7 men arrested in undercover prostitution sting set up by South Burlington last month will avoid prosecution. TJ opted to have the men attend a 1-hour class next week about the complex circumstances that underlie prostitution. Boy, that'll teach them a lesson. You know what? I'm telling you what. We don't like human trafficking and we don't like prostitution. We're going to get tough on you, mister. We're going to send you to a 1-hour class. How do you like that? Yeah. It's insane. Let's see. These 40 people generated 285 separate contacts with the undercover piggy. The pigs told the woman clients to meet at the Anchorage Inn. And you know what they don't say in here, Philo? They don't say how they got the men to, I didn't see any ads in the paper for whores or anything, right? Yeah. You know how they got them all? I'm pretty sure they used the Craigslist. Yeah.
Well, it could have been. It used to be used for that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or maybe rubmaps.com. The men were arrested. The police widely distributed their photographs so you can make fun of them. James P. Bradley, 49, of Manchester. Mustafa DeJozo, 51, of Burlington. Brian Jenkins, 42, Jericho. Pierre Lemax, 67, of South Burlington. Joseph Thankachan, Thank a Chan. Thank a Chan. Thank a Chan. Thank a Chan. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. 51 at Colchester. Jay Tossie of 42 of Barrie, and Colby Wilbur, 48 of South Burlington. You know, there isn't one guy in here that's under 40, Philo. Huh. Jeez Louise. Yeah, what's up with this? You know? Oh, man. Let's see. Donovan said the class will be taught by Edith Klomowski, director of Give Way to Freedom, which provides support for survivors of human trafficking or vulnerable to trafficking. Klomowski, who's helped train pigs, nurses, students, and youth service providers, told the BFP that the class will cover statistics, facts, characterizations, and all forms of human trafficking and victimization. Oh, man. Hey, remember that fight that they had with the black kids when they tried to take away that cop's gun and stuff? And then they called their property a troubled property and then got rid of the old lady and stuff? Well, the kid's back in the news, 17, found him breaking into a Bluebird barbecue. It faces up to 20 years in prison. Hathan Williams pled not guilty to burglary, assault, and robbery. Okay. And here we are. Oh, you're going to love this one. Thanks, Philo. The district attorney was too stupid to move the video from one driver to the next, Philo. Well, we lost the evidence. We don't have the video anymore. It was there, but it's not there now, and it's kind of degraded, so you can't see it, you know, so that you can't see the embezzlement. Unbelievable. Let's see, told his bosses he reviewed the original video. He said a copy on a thumb drive was unviewable for some reason. He confronted Brigham. A mother of 3 said she was having money problems. She needed to pay rent, and her mother had moved out. Oh, every mom's a single mom. You know, I mean, that's it. You have a whole litter of kittles and, you know, skittles, and then it's like, well, I had to steal. Money is speech, corporations are people, war is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. There it is, all right there. The big fat white guy's on the Supreme Rump Court.
I thought the ignorance was bliss.
Yeah, well, that's it. It should be, right? It should be.
1 minute to go, Steve.
Okay, and last but not least, one from I held over from last week. All the F-35s are grounded. And they said they're grounded because of a Briggs & Stratton engine. There it is right there. What's the F for? That's right. The F is for up. That's right. A Briggs & Stratton engine. I could swear they were Pratt & Whitney or GE turbines, but, you know, I mean, Briggs & Stratton, maybe they only need 3 or 4 horsepower to get off the ground, you know? I mean, if a guy can drive a lawnmower drunk, anything can happen. So once again, you wasted a perfectly good hour of your life watching this a stupid program. And hopefully, you know, all goes well. The creek don't rise. The good Lord willing, we'll see you again this time next week. And until then, get down on your knees. Pick the sky god of your choice. Look towards Mecca and go, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Look it, it's the end. It's the end of the world as we know it.
We're gonna stay here till we soothe our soul, if it takes all night long. Come on and let the good times roll. We're gonna stay here till we soothe our soul, if it takes all night long. The evening sun is sinking low. The clock on the wall says it's time to go. I got my plans and I've got plans for you. I'll tell you exactly what we're all gonna do. Get in the groove and let the good times roll. We're gonna stay here till we soothe our soul, if it takes all night long. Come on and let the good times roll. We're gonna stay here till we soothe our soul, if it takes all night long. Listen, might be 12 o'clock and it might be 3.